XRP lawsuit is officially over, and it's looking like we may be getting that XRP spot ETF soon. Plus, we have some XRPL developmental updates. We've got Solana news, Coinbase, Kraken, you name it. It is here. It is a good week. It is a really, really, really good week for crypto. And again, I know the market's a little bit slow. I know you guys are getting a little bit tired. I know all of that. But be patient. It is going to pay off. We are entering quarter 3 of 2025 tomorrow, July 1st, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Okay. Quarter 3 and quarter 4 is when things are going to get crazy. Now, why is that? Well, if you've been watching the show since the beginning, you guys know that we do everything crypto every single day. You need to like this video. You need to subscribe, set all alerts so you don't miss out. And you need to drop me a comment because I read all of those. But we talked about during election season, we talked about how important it was to get a pro-crypto president. That has in fact happened. But I also said just because we get this pro-crypto president doesn't mean that things are going to take off right away, because American policies take a long time. Laws take time. Regulations, restructuring take a really, really, really long time. So I said to be patient. And I said to wait until quarter 3 or quarter 4 of 2025. And right now, it's looking like that is coming true. Now, does it mean we're going to get a crazy altcoin season and XRP is going to hit 589? I have no idea. But Bitcoin has been holding above $100,000 really nicely. We're getting clarity on a lot of these bills. The Genius Act, I believe it went to the House already. If the House approves it, it goes to the president signs off on it. Then we have the Clarity Act. We have all of these things. So let's go ahead and cover everything. And also shout out to everybody from Australia, from LA, Louisiana, I think that is right. Australia. Of course, I have to give a big shout out to my channel members over here. Shout out to Mr. Legend, Mr. D, Gorgeous Alexandra, Mr. John Germain watching me on Memorex. And let's go ahead and get started because there's a lot to talk about. I'm excited. My ADHD is going absolutely crazy. And I'm a little bit tired, a little bit fatigued. But things are looking up a little bit. We got one more big battle that we're on the verge of winning. So just please send good vibes, send good prayers. But let's go ahead and get it going because I got to give it to you guys. Shout out to the UK. We love the UK. We love the UK. I was talking to somebody from the UK earlier today. I actually want to go to the UK and I want to explore all the different places. And shout out to Texas, deep in the heart of Texas. I want to go to all the places like the Stones hung out and like all the old rock bands, Anita Pallenberg and all kinds of stuff. So one of you guys are going to have to take me when I visit the UK. You're going to have to give me a tour. And shout out to Ecuador. But let's get into the news. Okay, so we know that the XRP lawsuit is done now, okay? Ripple says we're done. We're not going to appeal. And the SEC is expected to drop the appeal. And they're working very closely with Ripple. So I think it's going to happen. So Nate Garassi is a very popular ETF analyst. That's what he does over here. And he says, closed chapter on this clears the way for spot XRP ETF. Also clears the way for BlackRock to jump in. And we've talked about the reason why we don't have a lot of the crypto ETFs approved yet is because, laws and regulations, and because one of the big ones, the second most popular crypto asset in the world, which Bitcoin is first, and that's okay. That is okay. But the most popular crypto asset is XRP. Well, second most. Well, I guess if you, whatever. But BlackRock, of course, is going to get in on it because it's all traditional finance. BlackRock is here to make as much money as possible. We all know how popular XRP is. So this is a good thing. It's a positive thing that things are starting to progress. Now, I do want to go ahead and recap quickly kind of what's going on, just in case any of you missed it. But basically, Garlinghouse said that the decision will close a chapter once and for all, and the company shifts focus back to building XRP-related infrastructure. And yeah, we got some news about that too. Now, while we've got a lot of different Ripple things to discuss, okay? A lot of different Ripple things to discuss. There's one story, but I want to go to this one next over here. This is Mr. Fred. Fred is great. He's basically talking about explaining what happened with the lawsuit. I see, and I'm going to read you guys the key points over here. He says that institutional sales in the Ripple injunction only refused to sales from its founding through 2018, as defined in the summary judgment, not all current or future sales to institutions. And this is wonderful news. And I'm so glad he clarified it, because when we were talking about, so what XRP got hit for at the end of the day was going to be institutional sales, and they got hit, and the institutional sales from 2018, I believe, were classified as a security or they weren't disclosed properly. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day because it's over with now, and they had to pay a $125 million fine. So Ripple's attorneys was like, you know what? Let's just go ahead. We'll pay the $125 million fine, because a lot of times it's easier to settle and just pay what you're supposed to pay than having to go back and forth, because Ripple spent, I think, like $100 million or something crazy. And the fee got knocked down from, I think, $2 billion to $125 million. They're just like, we're done. And I thought that if they didn't fight for the institutional sales, that they wouldn't be able to participate those in the future. But it was only those sales from way back when. So this is wonderful news. This is bullish news. This is wonderful news. This is positive news. Okay. So Ripple can do business in the United States of America. They can participate in retail sales. Well, not necessarily retail, because retail sales are generally classified on the secondary market, like on a Kraken, which again, we got a Kraken ref link below, FMX ref link. If you guys want to use it, great. If not, that's fine. But this is good. Ripple's going to be able to thrive in the US. So again, institutional sales in the Ripple injunction only refers to sales from its founding through 2018, as defined in the summary judgment, not all current or future sales to institution. The ban applies specifically to those past sales structures, not a blanket ban on selling XRP to institutions. Since then, under the SEC, Ripple likely adjusted institutional sales to align with the SEC guidance, because the SEC is actually communicating with them. Ripple can still do institutional sales today if it was structured in ways acceptable to the SEC, either under exemptions or with registration. Now, the fact that we have a pro-crypto SEC means that we're going to get this stuff approved. All they have to do is reach out to them and chat with them and be like, hey, we want to do this. Can we do it? And shout out to Hedera, shout out to the Hedera community, and to the foundation. But that's all that they need to do. So that's exactly what they're going to do. And it's done. And it is done. It's done. So we should be getting XRP spot ETF soon. I'm excited. All right, let's go ahead and cover some more stuff. Some more little titty booties over here, okay? Now, final SEC deadline this week on Grayscale Digital Large Cap ETF. It holds Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and Cardano. He thinks, Mr. Nate, ETF expert, says, think high likelihood this is approved. Would then be followed later by approval for individual spot ETFs on XRP, Solana, ADA, Ethereum, or etc. So, if this gets approved, then we're going to be getting that XRP, Solana, which is set to go live on Wednesday with staking, and Cardano. And yes, we know that HBAR's got their ETF too, and I'm pretty confident that that's going to pass. But this is amazing. Thank God that Brad Garlinghouse, that they did what they did, really. Also, too, Mr. Garlinghouse is bull posting a little bit over here. He says, I know many people, it's basically about tattoos. So apparently this is Brad Garlinghouse with his XRP tattoo, I believe. That's super cool to see. And then let's go ahead and get into Ripple X. So this is about XRPL. So the XRPL EVM sidechain is officially live on mainnet. And this is what powers Ripple, or XRP. So Ripple launched XRPL VVM sidechain on mainnet. It adds EVM-compatible smart contracts to XRPL, which allows Ethereum-based apps to deploy on XRPL at low cost. The sidechain operates on separate blockchain connected to XRPL using the Axelar bridge. XRP is a gas token for transactions, which means that's good because it means that that's going to essentially help with liquidity and whatnot. So XRP is affiliated because, again, Ripple's got this ecosystem that's got the chain XRPL, RLUSD, and XRP. Devs can build EVM-based dApps while accessing XRPL's payment infrastructure and its 6 million plus wallet holders. Ripple plans to integrate Wormhole for additional cross-chain access in the future. We talked about that. We covered it already. And I have a video for you guys on the internet about that, all right? Now, let's get into altcoins because there's a lot of news with that. But before we do, Bitcoin hit its second highest weekly close in history yesterday on June 29th. We're going to go ahead and we are going to do actually it's a third. No, that's a daily. I'm sorry, you guys, ignore me. Yeah, it's the second highest weekly close, okay? Which is bullish. That's incredible. So let's go ahead and do some little TNA over here. And again, we've got, if you guys want to trade with me on FMX or Kraken, I've got the link down below. FMX is going to be for you degenerates. Kraken is going to be for you that want something a little that is based in the US. That's not as, that's just chill. I love Kraken. I really, really, really do. And their team is super responsive too. So we opened at $100,000. We got a swing wick low to 99,000 and we closed at 108,000. Right now we're having a bit of a pullback. On the weekly though, we printed a green dot using MarketCypher. MarketCypher is one of my favorite indicators. The link for that's down below, or it's going to be up over here with the QR code. So we get a little bit of a pullback, fine, just as long as we can close above $105,000. Now taking a look at the daily, it looks like this area here about $108,000. We've had a little bit of trouble breaking above it. And that's okay. So overall, we're in an upward trajectory, and just important that we can sustain and close above $105,000. Now, when we look at this chart over here, this one is a little bit more bigger over here, a little bit more bigger ranges. And I do need to modify it because of the Elon Trump dip. And then I think this was the conflict that happened. And let me do that now. Conflict dipperoonie. I don't think that's spelt properly. That's fine. Put it right here. But this is fine to me. Again, just as long as we sustain above 102,000 and we can break above 111,000, fantastic. Ethereum is also showing some nice rebound over here, but we're having trouble breaking above 2,500. Solana is going absolutely crazy because the ETF is expected to launch on Wednesday with staking, which will be the first of its kind. We hit a swing wick high of 165, and we should continue to climb. We now broke out of this downtrend here. SUI hit $2.91, and then it's back testing on the trend line here. So let's hope we close above 281. XRP pumping to 222 and trying to flip its hardest. So we'll see if that happens and we can get back in the range between 240 and 222. Link we got some Link news too, I'll talk about in a little bit, but Link hit 1376 and now it's back at, and then it tapped on support at $13 here. So this is a nice little range. I'm happy with that. We are looking a little bit overbought though. Now with Cardano, ADA, even though we've got that large cap news going on, it wasn't able to break above 58 cents and we're back in consolidation between 54 and 58 cents. HBAR, Hedera, is just chilling between 15 and 14 cents over here. Also, DOG has officially been listed on Bitcoin, and DOG is one of those coins that I bought, or excuse me, I didn't buy it. I bought rune stones, so I can, which is basically the rune stones. The ordinal is basically like NFTs on Bitcoin, and you got an airdrop, and it finally got listed on Kraken. So congratulations to the DOG community. But DOG is just kind of doing its thing. Now I want to get into Bitcoin a little bit, and then we got a lot of altcoin stories. Now Michael Saylor bought more Bitcoin. And remember, MicroStrategy is currently being sued because apparently they didn't give enough disclosures and whatnot. But again, people are buying Bitcoin. They're going to continue to buy Bitcoin. If you're somebody that does not have Bitcoin, consider having a little bit of it, in my personal opinion, because it's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. Also, Mr. CZ. This is a really cool small little country over here. So, this is the country of Bhutan, and I apologize if I butchered that over here. But they amass 1.3 billion Bitcoin reserve, and that's 40% of their GDP. This is a teeny tiny country, and they are just going crazy right now with Bitcoin. And you know what? They're kind of following El Salvador's moves, and I love to see it. Their holdings equal 40% of the Bhutan's GDP, and now the third largest sovereign Bitcoin holder. Wow. And then also the way that they mine their Bitcoin is they use excess hydropower to mine it. It offers cleaner, low-cost energy source compared to fossil fuels. And the interesting thing about this is El Salvador, President Bukele is like, oh, Bitcoin's bad for the environment. Hold my beer. Let's go ahead and use our geothermal energy from volcanoes. So Bitcoin's really not all that bad for the environment, depending on how you decide to mine it. So again, countries are buying Bitcoin. We have Bitcoin strategic reserves. We're going to get on a federal level. It's going to be on a state level. Other countries are running to buy Bitcoin. We have the treasuries, or the treasuries and the companies, treasury companies, balance sheets like MicroStrategy. And again, I really do believe that the American dream will be to own one Bitcoin, because right now it's more affordable than buying property in America, in my opinion. But not financial advice, you do for you. Now, we got some news from Coinbase. Coinbase brings Cardano and Litecoin to base, joining Doge and XRP. Again, I do think that Coinbase will be the most popular crypto bank. I personally believe that I know that the Telcoin community, they've got their licenses and stuff like that, but people are going to know who Coinbase is. And that's not a bad thing in any way, shape, or form. But a lot of things are going to be done on Base. And it's going to be a really, really popular big crypto bank. So again, you can use Doge and XRP along with Cardano and Litecoin on Base. Also from Aptos, it looks like their co-founder and CEO joined the CFTC Digital Asset Market Subcommittee, along leaders from BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, and Citadel. Interesting stuff over there. Interesting stuff. I don't think I have Aptos. Now let's get into Chainlink. Chainlink is one of these projects that I really, 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 really do like a lot, primarily because it's used, I think, with it's used 70% of something. I forgot what that statistic is, but it's really needed to make DeFi and all that stuff work, like really bridge together TradFi with crypto, Web 2, Web 3, and just in crypto in general. So it's a project that I hold that I like. And it's kind of similar to my love about HBAR, because HBAR brings all the things together with AI, DeFi, RWAs, DeFi, like all of it, okay? But Chainlink makes all this stuff work. And I do have Chainlink, okay? So they reveal compliance standards and targets 100 trillion institutional crypto flows. So Chainlink launched the automatic compliance engine for institutional crypto compliance, and they want to unlock over 100 trillion in institutional capital for crypto. I think they're going to do it, personally. They provide modular, standardized regulatory compliance across TradFi and DeFi, and enables reusable digital IDs. I don't like it, but it's coming whether we like it or not. Automated policy enforcement and compliant cross-chain settlements, and it's seen as key infrastructure piece for tokenized asset adoption. Are any of you guys holding Chainlink? What are your thoughts about that? I'll read the comments. Now, this right here. This gentleman over here, Mr. RIA, manages $300 billion for 1.3 million clients, top of the Barron's list of America advisors regularly. And now it looks like they're recommending 40% allocation for aggressive investors of crypto. Coinbase did integrate into Hashbound. I love them. We talked about that on the show when it first happened. But I want to kind of read this to you a little bit and then let it sink in. So Rick Edelman, founder of 300 billion financial advisor firm Edelman Finance Engines, recommends 40% crypto allocation for aggressive investors, 10% crypto allocation for conservative investors, and says owning crypto is no longer speculative. Not owning it is. Edelman manages 300 billion for 1.3 million clients and regularly tops Barron's market advisors rankings. So the reason why this is so funny is because most of us that have been in crypto this long, we are actually absolutely overexposed when it comes to Bitcoin and crypto. We could literally will have $69 on our bank account and have like the rest of our money in Bitcoin crypto. I was like that for a really long time, but we got to take profit, all kinds of stuff. So that's what they're saying. A very aggressive portfolio. When they say crypto, they're talking about Bitcoin too. And again, the stuff we like to focus on this channel are projects that will become ETFs, the ones that have already been applied for: XRP, Solana, HBAR, ADA, Link, you name it. Okay, those things. That's what I would be paying attention to. Also, if you want to take risk, you could look at projects with RWAs, AI, and DeFi. AI is absolutely slaying it right now. So that's just a little bit of food for thought for you wonderful people, Now, Bernstein sets $230 price target on Circle stock, calls it the internet dollar network for the next decade. And again, crypto stocks are pumping. And that's Circle's USDC Circle stocks. Next, Gemini launches tokenized stocks in the EU, starting with Master. And then this is a big story with Robinhood. So Robinhood launches stock tokens and reveals layer 2 blockchain and expands crypto suite in EU and US with perpetual futures staking. Let me see. And they're going to be on Arbitrum. And the interesting thing too is with Gemini, tokens are issued on Arbitrum too. So that seems like it's kind of the chain for some of these tokenized stocks, which is really, really interesting. And these don't trade 24/7. They trade 24/5. And they also plan to use their own layer 2 optimized for RWAs. So cool stuff. And then also too, some Kraken news. X stocks are officially live on Kraken. 60 U.S. equities, tokenized and tradable 24/5. More coming soon. And again, we got a Kraken ref link for those of you that are interested. If not, no worries. But again, I'm using Kraken more, and I like it. Okay, I like it. I like it. I like it. And also too, they released crack. And I came up with the slogan for them. I said, "Say no to crack, but say yes to crack." If you guys get it. Anyways, it is it's more ways to pay, to send, to grow, more rewards in your pocket, all of the different stuff, all these different these currencies happening right now. Okay. Also, with that being said, it's competing with Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App, which I would absolutely love to use crack instead of. I don't like Venmo, I don't like PayPal, and I don't like Cash App. I don't like Cash App because I think it's checked. Offers free local payments and zero-cost international transfers to over 160 countries. You get to earn up to 4.1 rewards holding global dollar stablecoin USDG and 10% staking rewards on other digital assets. Be careful with that, okay? Got to be careful with that. Also, too, just a really quick reminder to you, really quick reminder is this story over here. US dollar off to the worst start since 1973. This is the US dollar. This is inflation. This is the purchasing power of the US dollar. And I want to really remind you guys what's going on with this. The purchasing power will always continue to go down with the US dollar. And the way that they're going to plan to fix it is merge it all over into stablecoins, CBDCs. They're basically going to rewrite the system. Is that good? Is it bad? That's what's happening. But this is something that they don't teach you about in school, is the decline of the US dollar. There's a lot of different reasons for this, but this is pretty sad to see. Really sad to see. Also, I want to close out with something bullish. Amendments to the bill, okay? Trump's big beautiful bill. Basically, it's called One Big Beautiful Bill. The reason why it's important, it's got a major tax and spending package. The House passed a bill last month. Senate now needs to approve it. But in the bill, who's calling me? Cuckoo people call me. In the bill, it is rumored that there's going to be a crypto and a crypto tax amendment. And this was posted by somebody from Bitcoin Magazine, which I want to really bring up because it's important. And this is from the Bitcoin historian, Pete Rizzo. Trump advisor Bailey confirms U.S. will vote tonight on a bill to remove Bitcoin capital gains and crypto as well. That's what I want to leave you with. And again, I'm not a supporter of this bill at all. I don't like it. I don't like big bills. I think we should have small, concise bills, 2 to 3 pages written in plain English. So I've got a problem with it. But at the end of the day, there's really nothing that we can do. And that's why on the show we say to grift ethically and legally alongside of the elites, because that's going to be the only way out. And if we can get some sort of tax, anything. And on that note, I am out. I got to make some content for you guys. I'll catch up with you soon. Thank you so much for watching. And I am looking forward to the 1st of July and looking forward to, fingers crossed, the most epic bull run we will have in altcoin season. I hope you all make as much money as ethically as possible. Bye-bye.